Hey guys, Rogue Potato here. Hope you're all having a great day. In this video, we're going to be discussing tactical commendations. The good news for many of you is that if you've been mixing up your skill use, you may already have many of these commendations either completed or close to being completed. For those of you who don't, I'll go over some tips to help you complete them as quickly as possible. Let's start by looking at all the tactical merits for the main story missions. Their requirement is that you must complete the mission on hard without losing all of your armor. Now, I didn't find these to be too difficult, but that's not to say I didn't mess up a few times and have to do some missions over again to complete the commendation. If you're going to be completing these solo, the key is to move slow and always utilize cover when available. I'd recommend using the chem launcher for healing and the assault turret to provide you with cover fire when you're in boss fights or engagements with a lot of hostiles. You will find that the enemy will rush you significantly less with the turret active. For those of you in a group, you have the option of essentially skipping the difficulty of protecting your armor. If at any point you lose all of your armor, as long as you completely log out to the main menu, you can rejoin your group and the ability to complete the commendation is restored. No need to run the entire mission all over again. Moving on. Unlike the combat commendations, the blue tier tactical commendations are really quite easy. Most of you have probably completed these or are close to completing them already. Specialization distinction requires that you use each specialization and get 10 elite enemy kills with their respective signature weapon. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're in the open world and you need more ammo for your signature weapon, you can change your specialization at the White House to receive full ammo. You can also then switch back to the original specialization you had selected. Rapid destruction distinction requires you to destroy the armor of an elite and kill it in under 1 minute. This one I'm sure everyone has completed already, and there is no real tips or tricks to completing it. Just put on your strongest gear and hit any activity that spawns an elite enemy. Tier 3 control points are always a good option here. The last of the blue tier commendations is the drone system distinction. The good news is this does not actually require you to use a striker or bombardier drone to complete it. You simply need to get at least 8 kills using any combination of weapons and skills during the lifespan of a single drone. To complete this easily, I recommend using the fixer drone since it has a pretty long uptime, giving you ample opportunity to defeat 8 enemies before it goes on cooldown. Now we move on to the green tier commendations. All 3 of which are very skill heavy. These commendations will be your biggest time sink of all the tactical commendations. First up is the Chem Expert merit. This requires you to get kills while an enemy is under the effect of foam, fire, and or corrosion. Now it's not required that you get the final blow from these skills, just that they must be burning, for example, when you kill them. The easiest strategy here for all of them is to hit enemies with the skill and then use a weapon to finish them off quickly. You could also weaken enemies first and allow the skill to get the final blow, which leads us into the next commendation, the Demolitions Expert merit. This commendation requires you to get kills utilizing the explosive mods of certain skills. While completing the Chem Expert and working on the kills while burning portion, weakening enemies first will allow you to also get credit for the explosive vapor portion of Demolitions Expert commendation. This is because the only way to get credit for the explosive vapor is to kill the enemy with the initial explosion that comes from igniting the chem launcher's gas cloud. I would also recommend weakening enemies first while getting the seeker mine kills, especially the cluster variation. With no skill mods, the clusters are not strong enough in most cases to do enough damage to a full health red bar enemy to kill them. So to get the most out of each cluster, make sure you weaken enemies prior to using that skill. For the artillery turret, the best advice I can give you is to try and complete it outdoors and make every single shot count. It has a really long cooldown. Also, if you manually deactivate the turret when it has 1 shot left, you will cut the cooldown in half. The SHD skill merit can be a bit tricky and also quite time consuming. It's pretty self-explanatory, get kills with certain skills without using armor kits. For all 4 skills, I recommend weakening targets again and allowing your skills to get the final blow. This is especially important for the drone skill because of its long cooldown, small health pool, and very poor damage output. I suggest weakening as many enemies in an area before calling out the drone to get the most kills out of it as quickly as possible. To protect it from enemy fire while it's attacking, I suggest using an LMG for its superior suppression ability. On to the last 3. When I first saw the Combustion Award, it seemed like it might be quite daunting to complete since I did not use any skill mods giving me a larger radius or additional skill charges. Luckily for us, none of that matters. Simply head to the White House shooting range. Go to the far range with all the close range targets, pop down the gas clouds, and ignite them. For some reason, it seems these targets count toward the completion of this commendation, making it very trivial to complete. For the Prone Target Award, You need to inflict damage with an offensive ability on 10 different enemies that are in the prone position using skills like the Chem Launcher or Seeker Mine. To make this easy on yourself, I recommend using the Oxidizer mod on the Chem Launcher because it has a pretty short cooldown. While working on this, keep in mind that you only get credit for each individual enemy regardless of how many times you use a skill on the same one. If you're having trouble finding prone enemies, run missions involving the True Sons like the American History or Air and Space Museum. In both missions, you'll have multiple encounters where enemies will go prone. Finally, we have the Guardian Award. Complete a main mission without any members healing or being down. Now, on this one, maybe someone can help all of us. I've personally run missions ranging in difficulty from story to challenging with 2 to 4 total members, with no one using healing skills, armor packs, or being downed, and for some reason, it just won't complete for me or anyone I've run it with. If you've had luck completing this commendation, please share your method in the comments below. Also, if anyone here has any speculation as to what the classified file is, I'd love to hear it. Personally, I think it is just going to unlock for us to complete when Tidal Basin goes live, but maybe not. Let me know your thoughts. So that wraps it up for this video, guys. As always, thank you for watching, and take care, agents.